Greetings and welcome back to EDUC771, Analyzing Educational Research Week 7. This week we will discuss chapters 7 and 8, Evaluation and Survey Research. Week 7 Assignments. Review Week 7 PowerPoint video. This includes chapters 7 and 8. I have decided not to assign chapters 7 and 8 review problems, activities, and reflections because I wanted to allow you more time to complete Research Summary 1, which is due on October the 26th. Please continue with your Chapter 13 textbook reading assignment. In Chapter 7, we will briefly discuss two types of evaluation research, formative and summative research. In Chapter 8, we will discuss questionnaire designs and survey design alternatives. Chapter 7, Evaluation Research, examination of a program or process to determine what's working, what's not, and why. Evaluation determines the value of programs and acts as blueprints for judgment and improvement. We will discuss two types of evaluative research, formative and summative. In formative evaluation, programs or projects are typically assessed during their development or early implementation stage to provide information about how best to revise, modify, help shape, and or refine the program for improvement. And summative evaluation, which is also called impact evaluation, programs or projects are assessed at the end of an operating cycle, and findings typically are used to help decide whether a program should be adopted, continued, or modified for improvement. Formative evaluations. In formative research, the major questions are: what is the definition and scope of the problem or issue? And what's the question? Where is the problem and how big or serious is it? How should the program or technology be delivered to address the problem? How well is the program or technology delivered? Summative evaluations. In summative research, the major questions are: what type of evaluation is feasible? What was the effectiveness of the program or technology? What is the net impact of the program? If you examine a side-by-side comparison of formative and summative evaluation, formative evaluation provides information that helps you improve your program, like periodic reports and information that can be shared quickly. It focuses on program activities, outputs, and short-term outcomes in order to monitor progress and make corrective actions when necessary. Formative evaluation is helpful when bringing suggestions for improvement to the attention of staff. Summative evaluation generates information that can be used to determine or to demonstrate the results of your program to stakeholders. It focuses on programs' intermediate term outcomes and impact and can be used to determine the value and worth of a program based on results. Summative evaluation is also helpful in describing the quality and effectiveness of your program. Chapter 8, Survey Research. Survey research is a research method involving the use of standardized questionnaires or interviews to collect data about people and their preferences, thoughts, and behaviors in a systematic manner. A questionnaire is an instrument containing the questions in a self-administered survey. Questionnaire design. A few key principles to remember when designing questions are: maintain consistent focus, build on existing instruments, refine and test questions. This is done by conducting a pilot study. Order the questions, make the questions attractive, and write clear questions. When writing questions, avoid confusing phrases, avoid vagueness, provide a frame of reference, avoid negative words and double negatives, avoid double-barreled questions, minimize the risk of bias. Types of questions. Close-ended questions, as we said before, are utilized with large samples and are mutually exclusive and exhaustive. And quantitative surveys are usually close-ended. Open-ended questions are utilized when little knowledge about a particular topic is known, with smaller sample sizes, when you don't want to limit responses, and qualitative surveys are usually open-ended. However, disadvantages are: it is time-consuming and difficult to administer and analyze. Close-ended questions and response categories allow for disagreement, are social desirability, minimize fence-sitting and floating, and also use Likert-type response categories. Matrix questions are a series of questions that contain a common theme and have the same response choices. Survey design alternatives. Surveys can be administered in several different ways. Each approach differs in one or more important feature, such as manner of administration, questionnaire structure, setting, and cost. Typical survey designs include mailed surveys. These should include a cover letter. Group administered surveys are completed by individual respondents assembled together. Telephone surveys are conducted when interviewers question respondents over the phone and then record their answers. This type of survey design contains threats to validity because sample units are sometimes hard to reach, and it is sometimes difficult to obtain the maximum amount of completed responses. In-person interviews, where interviewers must maintain an appropriate balance between personalization and standardization. Web-based surveys can either be email-based and sent as emails to respondents' email addresses, or web-based and stored on a server that is controlled by the researcher. or a mixed mode survey design, which allows the strengths of one survey design to compensate for the weakness of another. The 5 survey designs are listed in Exhibit 8.5 on page 171 in your textbook. Notice the manner of administration, type of setting, questionnaire, structure, and cost. Which survey design requires a professional to administer the question? What design involves a group? Which designs are mainly structured? What design allows for unstructured questions? And which designs contain the very lowest and highest cost? To read more on how to write a good survey and to view sample surveys, please visit the following links.